Good morning. How's everybody doing today? We'll give it a couple more minutes for folks to trickle in. Kind of a dreary day here in Southeast North Carolina. That reminds me, I want to pop up my interactive map over here and new feature we'll do starting today. Check the check the various cams. Let's slide this tab over. Some behind the scenes stuff that I should have done ahead of time, but that's all right. All right, let's get back over to that. Hello again. Figuring stuff out here. All right. 17 people have come into the classroom today, the lecture hall. Kat's going to join us today. We got Penelope. Penelope the Calico. Office door is open. Nobody's home except me. So why not, right? The cat will come and go. That could get interesting. You never know. So, question for you. How's everybody doing? It's been a heck of a year. We're almost to the end of it. And seriously, from the heart, question, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Get through the year all right? Hopefully healthy as can be. Hopefully the weather didn't get you too bad, depending on where you are. I know a lot of people, especially in the Southeast, Western North Carolina in particular, hurting pretty bad as we get towards this Christmas season and wrapping up the end of the year. People in Florida, the Big Bend area, and that was after last year with Idalia. Folks in the central part of the country, let us not forget, we had a remarkable tornado season again this spring in April and May, and especially, obviously, tornadoes outside of those months, but been a pretty impactful year weather-wise. NOAA will eventually have that map. There goes the cat, where they have the billion-dollar disasters, the billion-dollar plus, and it's going to be pretty astounding this year. Hurricane season, we talked about this last week. Now easily number two on the list all time of costliest ever. Yeah, the weather takes a toll. It does. It's bigger than us. So that, among other curiosities of mine, just wondering how people are doing. Let's look over on YouTube and see what folks are saying. Um, Nothing yet. Maybe that means everybody's doing great since there's no responses. Yeah, we're doing all right. So I won't respond. Don't be shy. You don't have to write a novel either, but you got to be careful because sometimes people will start laying it all out, and you're like, "Oh, be careful what you wish for," and wanting responses. Um, a cat one at home. Hey, that's funny, William. You never know. We have two indoor cats. That would be Willow and Penelope, and one garage cat, Tabby. And she's 10 years old, and she hangs out in the garage, as the name implies, goes in and out of the yard, never really leaves the property. But when in the warm months, when we go on a walk, especially my daughter and I, Tabby will follow us and she will walk with us. It is amazing. Yep. Um, yeah, yeah, eight activations. Absolutely glad it's over. Me too. I got a lot of work to do, and we'll get started with weather stuff in a minute. Just kind of catching up with you. And by the way, that's what I like about this is I want you to get to know me more. That I'm not a character outside of the weather stuff. Even there, I'm not. But when I'm on the clock, so to speak, we're active on a mission. That's where you see me the most, or in my documentaries. There is more of in character. They're very serious. I joke around sometimes, but everything's just pretty much rigid, and we got a clock to attend to because there's a hurricane coming or whatever the case may be. This I like just more informal, and eventually going to figure out how to get some of you people involved. I would love that. I was thinking about in January maybe even having an official name change to this instead of just morning discussion. That's kind of boring. So I've got a couple of ideas for making this a regular thing every Monday. And if there's a Monday that I'm busy or I can't do it, or maybe I'm sick, We'll do it some other day in the week, but let's just do this once a week. And then I want to do something like a little quiz kind of deal. I was thinking about that too. Like I was thinking about calling it 5 questions, and I could prearrange ahead of time for one of our guests here, our folks on the YouTube chat or our Discord or Patreon, which are kind of one and the same. Arrange it ahead of time, and I'll just make up a name, instead of choosing somebody off the list here, and it gets confusing. But you definitely hear the cat over there. Maybe not. My microphone might not pick it up. But let's say Bob Smith is watching weekly, and I say, "Hey Bob, send me your email. Next week I want to get you on our quiz show." And I would do because I do this over Zoom, I would have Bob join in over Zoom, and we would see Bob, and I would have 5 questions. And it would be kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, except I'm not giving away $1 million. You get all 5 questions right, you might get a T-shirt or a cool prize or something. Let's trivia, like, and not just weather. Like on this day, what hurricane hit? But stuff related to hurricane track. Like whatever. Like what? I don't know. What hat did Mark wear in the Charlie episode or something? And you got to go look. And it's just neat. A good way to be engaging, and the questions will get harder and harder until number 5. Stuff like that. Thinking about some new things for January. As I joked recently, that's my project 2025, how to do things better. Hey, that's anyway, we're not even, I tell you what. So yes, you gotta be careful, don't you? Yes, you do. Before we get started with weather stuff, uh, let's share the screen. Maybe I should have like different segments, and this would be one of them. I know there's a what's up with that already. I can't remember the guy that runs it, but we can't steal somebody else's title. But I do have a question. What's up with that? What's up with this? Let's see if it's still permeating through. Yeah, there it is. What the hell is going on with these drones in Jersey? Anybody else seeing this on their social media feed there up on the Twitter, formerly known as X? I'm just kidding. I just think it's still Twitter. That's all. Elon, he bought it. He can call it what it wants to. I pay my $8. I'll call it what I want to. All right? No disrespect intended. It's not showing up now, of course. My algorithm has screwed me here. There's a little bit more of it. There's a lot of UAP stuff that's been in my Twitter since December 2nd. Here's one as an example. Uh-oh, that's bad. We should just take that out. But yeah, I mean, there's some sports stuff and whatever, but man, it was mostly UAP craziness over there in Jersey. Um, Gosh, the cat is just absolutely going bonkers out there. She plays with this little spring that's just sitting in the hallway on the floor. But yeah, what is the deal with all of these drones or whatever the heck it is in Jersey? I'll tell you what the deal is. First of all, I may have talked about this last week. I can't remember. I don't know. But we're too far apart. All right. And that's my opinion. I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson or anything, but I think we're too far apart. And unless there are wormholes, speaking of wormholes, I got a story to tell you about what I did this weekend. Nobody's traveling. And if they are, they're not having blinking lights. Why would you sneak up on a civilization? Hey, the British did it, I guess, with their red coats, right? So, I mean, maybe the aliens are following the British plan of let's wear the brightest colors possible and go to war with somebody else. I mean, and again, I don't know my world history that well. I'm sure there was a reason why the British soldiers did that way back in the day. But yeah, I'm just not buying that we're getting visited by little orbs and whatever, and they're just playing hide and seek since 1947 or whatever it was in Roswell. Um, just considering how bad humans treat each other when we come across. each other, right? Generally over the history of the world. I'm pretty sure if we get stumbled upon by another intelligent being, that it is going to be like Hollywood has shown us year after year in their little special effects movies, going all the way back almost to the beginning of movie making. And speaking of movies, saw Interstellar. Told you there was a wormhole story here. Last night up in Durham at the IMAX, the re-release of it, spectacular movie. Took my 9-year-old daughter to see it with some of my other sons and my new daughter-in-law. That happened in October. My oldest son got married, and we all sat there and enjoyed it. But my daughter, she thought we were seeing Gladiator. I'm like, what? Why would I take you to see a brutal rated R for gore, mainly Gladiator 2? I don't know where she thought we were seeing Gladiator, whatever. But at the end of it, she said, when my older kids asked her, well, how'd you like it? She said, it was boring, but awesome. The mind of babes, right? Out of the mouths of babes and their minds. But I had to explain to her about relativity, that how did Cooper end up basically the same age, roughly, and then his mother is close to death when, or not his mother, it looked like his mother, right? His daughter. Anyway, if you saw Interstellar, you know what I'm talking about. But that a wormhole, and I had to explain all that. Tell you, that's when you do need to have Neil deGrasse Tyson on speed dial. Hey, Neil, hey, does he do cameo? Maybe I could pay him for a cameo and explain to my daughter Daphne, get her in the shot. What do you, I don't even know how that works. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't know. Can you tell her in no uncertain terms how relativity works? Just use GPT. All right. Now that I've yammered on enough, let's see how many people have come and gone from the classroom today. A whopping 16. Awesome. No, it's good to see you guys. It really is. I like to uh, chat and just see what's going on, and we'll get to the weather here. On the topic today, outside of all these different things that I've been rambling on about, we'll share the screen here and I'll show you. Um, Back to the title. All right. La Nina now. I don't know if it's official, but boy, it sure looks like it. But what later? What's happening later with that? I've seen some interesting posts about that. I'll give my thoughts on it. And I'm going to tell you something, man. You want to travel east of the Mississippi this week, especially by air. Good luck. Glad I'm not going anywhere because it is, especially Wednesday. I was talking about earlier when I asked how everybody's doing, that the weather is very impactful and so forth. This is going to be one of those weeks, especially Wednesday, Thursday. Yikes. So let's get to it. Let's get serious here. Global shot of the sea surface temperature anomalies. Um, what stands out? Let's expand this for you. And let's choose a good color up here today. I guess black will contrast the best. So this is 90 degrees west longitude, and this is 150 degrees. There's the cat. Holy cow. The speed at which she goes up and down the hallway back there, that's incredible. I should put a little GoPro on her. That's 150 east. There's 180, the dateline. I mean, let's just cheat and say that it, like, round up, that the cold water anomaly goes all the way over to 150 east. It doesn't quite, but it's pretty darn close. All right. Close enough for government work, right? That is a basin wide, pretty much La Nina signature, certainly cold anomaly. And that's pretty substantial. It really is. And that will affect global weather patterns on some very interesting scales, and exactly how. Man, it'd take 2 hours to explain all that. And it just depends, how this evolves and where the heart of the coldest water is. But that is a pretty remarkable signal. And we'll come back to this. It looks like it's going to stay that way. This is your Hofmoeller diagrams. So basically what this is showing are your zonal winds, basically right through this area here, roughly 5 north and south, globally, but I'm just drawing in through here at 5,000 feet. So we'll put 5K or 850 millibars in the atmosphere. A normal atmosphere, if you went up to 5,000 feet, your barometer should say 850 millibars. But when the atmosphere is in a state of flux and who knows what's going on, sometimes that changes and your heights rise and they fall, mountains of air, valleys of air, that kind of stuff. So that's what this shows. We'll expand that as well, zoom in on it. So the Hofmollers here showing strong easterly winds. Orange should contrast nicely here. Strong easterly winds for the foreseeable future. Of course, this is the past. This is where we are now, and this is the forecast going forward, all the way to Christmas Eve. Easterly, easterly, easterly. Not a lot of easterlies in the Atlantic. So things should stay warm in the Atlantic basin for the time being. But yeah, all that purple and whatnot you see there, that is indicative of pretty solid. Oh, now what did I do? I screwed up somehow. Pretty solid easterly winds all across the tropics down here, keeping this La Nina state going. And the forecast, now I got to blank that out. There we go. The forecast for all these strong easterlies should really reinforce that. And if we go look at the CFS up here, my bookmarks, it's still reflecting quite the dip as we get towards January. Look at this right down here, overall suggesting we get below the 1 Celsius threshold, CFS V2 up here. We shall see. And we're not quite at the La Nina yet. We're getting there. We're on our way down. NOAA, CPC, they all handle the classification and designation of that. I do want to show you this over here before we jump into current weather and whatnot. Let's check out the NMME. That's the North American Multi-Model Ensemble. And guess what? It ran overnight recently, or at least this weekend, whatever. So let's go over to the global shot. And this is your, what do I want? I want the sea surface temperature anomaly. So this is what the NMME, the North American Multi-Model Ensemble, shows for the coming months out through next August. And this is your initialization time. So let's pump this forward. January 2025, indicating a solid La Nina pattern in the Pacific and still a very warm Atlantic overall. Nothing has changed, right? And the La Nina holds on through February and then into March, April, May, June, July, August. Cool, neutral, barely. But you notice on the NMME, no El Nino for next year. So we can put a big X there. No El Nino on this run of the NMME. But the Atlantic stays pretty warm overall. The warmest this time around looks more focused up in the subtropics. We'll see. That's pretty far out. Big, big puzzle pieces, yes, but still pretty far out in time. I just think the bottom line is, and I'm going to talk to Dr. Klotzbach about this in about an hour for an upcoming brand new edition of our Hurricane U series. Are we just stuck in this pattern? I mentioned that recently in past updates. Is the Atlantic just going to stay warm? Put a big plus here for warm. And then it's just a matter of what the ENSO state is. Is it negative like we are now? Or does it go positive like it did last year? And then the Atlantic's super warm and they kind of wash each other out. I don't know. I mean, that's what we have to wait and see. But that is the NMME over the coming several months down the road into 2025. So the Atlantic stays pretty darn warm overall with the La Nina fading to cool neutral or just regular neutral, whatever. Precipitation, let's look at the precipitation anomalies just to see if we get anything out of that that's useful. Again, this is the current, or the rest of December. There's January. January, kind of dry in the southwest, more wet in the northern tier states, generally normal everywhere else. Deep tropics, kind of wet, I guess. Nothing tropical cyclone wise, but just fronts and upper level lows and whatever. February, hey, that's encouraging. Look at all that green in the east here. Maybe some snow. Certainly out here in the Rockies and Intermountain West, dry in the west, southwest anyway. Finally into March, springtime, and then getting towards summer we start to see the beginnings of the hurricane season pattern taking shape. July, August, and then September. Oh, we don't get September yet. So August, the early look on August is the precipitation pattern for anomalies is like that. And then you've got something over in the east. Is this stalled fronts? Is this short fuse tropical systems coming in? I don't know. Too far out, but just showing you. Climate models this far out in time, the big puzzle pieces notwithstanding, yeah, we'll just have to see. What's cool though, look, you can see the intertropical convergence zone. Watch this box right here, this rectangle. Watch how everything changes. South and then north. Whoop, go backwards, forwards. That's pretty neat that you can see the intraseasonal changes of the ITCZ in the tropical Atlantic. Neat little nuances there. All right, jump over to YouTube, say hello again, see what we got. 20 folks in the room. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We're going to keep moving along here. Let's go back to the home page of Tropical Tidbits. So I was talking about the week ahead. Yuck. Seriously. We'll use sky blue. We'll just pretend that it's sky blue outside. There's your subtropical jet. All right, if we can just get that to coincide with a polar jet and create some cyclogenesis, either a Miller B or a Miller A, whichever, I don't care. I like winter weather. It's exciting. Cold and sunny, what good is that? You got to have some snow and some excitement out there. And I realize winter weather does cause problems and it can be damaging and disruptive, but I think we'll take winter storms over hurricanes most days, right? I certainly would hope so. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty nasty travel week. Looking at, let me think here. What's the best? Let's just look at the radar scope real quick. Where is this? Oh, this was back up in the Great Lakes when we were watching the lake effect last week over Thanksgiving. So let's just jump around and pick some different cities here. How about Raleigh? Air traffic in and around Raleigh. Could be worse. Not too bad near Charlotte. Down here in my neck of the woods, Wilmington, light rain up into the Baltimore area. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can just click on these guys. That's the terminal one. That's another terminal one. Sorry. There's the weather service one. So you see, it's just kind of rainy and dreary. You know, not horrible, but enough of these terminals, as we call them, with precip that it's going to make travel difficult today. But wait till I show you what's coming. We can look at it from this perspective. There's all your light rain kind of outlined in the east. It looks like a piece of broccoli. Isn't that funny? It does. Looks like a big old piece of broccoli right there. Light rain in the east, little clipper system up north, and another front coming down. But watch this as we move this out to Wednesday, especially. First system comes through, and then we get the next shot of cold air coming down. This is Wednesday morning. So here's where you got problems. Wednesday morning, Atlanta, Hartsfield, bad. Charlotte, Douglas, same thing. So those two big airport hubs gonna get just wrecked. It looks like Wednesday morning, and that will screw up air travel all across the east. It is a ripple effect. What happens in Atlanta doesn't stay in Atlanta, all right? It affects, same with Charlotte. And Charlotte can also be, believe me, not the funnest airport to travel from. Trust me. They have a lot of uh, they have a lot of work to do to get up. Anyway, I'm not here to criticize, but it has been challenging to say the least. And then when you throw that much precip, that rate right there, that shows a pretty stout line of heavy rain and showers and thunderstorms. In fact, you go back overnight. This is Tuesday into Wednesday. Um, it really starts to blossom, and then it starts to move east to eventually affecting by afternoon time the Dallas area. Dallas, come on, Mark, Dulles or Dallas. Just change the A to a U or vice versa, right? And the E to a anyway. Dulles Airport, Washington, Reagan National, whatever. And then by the evening, forget about it. Especially up. Hey, at least this could wash all those drones out of the skies of Jersey. Get those out of there, those UAPs. But really, ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday, if you are traveling by air, let me stop sharing because this is serious. All right, I'm gonna try to be serious with you. Want to help out? Maybe you didn't think about it. You're like, oh man, you better start making some plans now as to what you're gonna do if you're stuck somewhere. Because from, as I showed you, Atlanta, and as the day progresses, all the way up the East Coast into the big airports of New York and Philly and all that, not good. And we're getting towards the time of year where there's more travel. I realize it's going to be closer to Christmas that it gets really hectic, but yeah, problematic there this week. So plan ahead. Whatever you got to do, you can John Candy and Steve Martin it. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Get a rental, get a train. I don't know, because that just looks ugly. Yeah. So let's go back to sharing the screen. I think when I do my discussion this afternoon, I'll make one of those clickbait thumbnails that says something like ugly weather and just make it look all scary. Because anyway, I'm not going to do that. But that does look ugly, seriously. And look at those heavy rain streaks in here. These bands tells me there's going to be some thunderstorm potential. In fact, speaking of thunderstorms, let's look at the SPC real quick and see what they got cooking up for us. Extremely critical fire weather conditions. Where is that? Probably should point that out. Of course, Southwest United States over there in California. Yeah, wow. Must be some Santa Ana. It is really dry out there, so that certainly makes sense. Don't want to overlook that. Very nice out there, except when it's dry, you get some problems. So here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The instability, I guess they're really focusing on the eastern part of the eastern seaboard. But as this transitions through, you don't get to see this every 3 hours. This is just your daily outlook, and this is day three because today's day one. But make sure you check this, all right? Because if you are flying um, Wednesday, this could get really ugly. It really could. By the way, I forgot to show you this. I wanted to check the cams real quick and see what's going on. Here's the Outer Banks of North Carolina as we wait for our Nest cams to wake up. There we go. Some decent waves. Wouldn't it be awesome if I turn this on and there's just like a whole bunch of whales going by? I know that if we had that on like Puget Sound or something off of in Seattle, Vancouver, or whatever, that'd be cool. Probably see them there. There's a boat, so we can hope. There's a little something right there. Probably another small boat. But this is our camera at the Rodanthe Pier. And this is our second camera up there, if we can get it to load. There's probably a billion Nest cams in the world, and to wake them up, we'll just keep moving. This is the south-facing cam from a house that we're able to use out there. Saw SpaceX twice recently. As it went to the southeast, the launch was like this across the shot, very low on the horizon. And then our Fort Lauderdale camera down here, I'll show you in a minute, saw it on the plume that it left, the noctilucent cloud. So kind of calm out there. These waves aren't too bad. Surfers, I don't know why this one isn't waking up. I have to ask Brad to go out there and fix that camera. Brad, by the way, he's our buddy that lives over here on the right side of the shot. You can't see his house, but that's where Brad is, and he takes care of our cams for us. But yeah, the SpaceX launch, we were able to see it on our Fort Lauderdale camera. Come on, wake up. Um, the other night, Tuesday into Wednesday, I think it was. Seriously, why do these things lag like this? Is what drives Fox crazy when they try to pull in my cams because they do this lagging thing. I realize again, there's probably a billion of these cameras out there, so it's like pulling teeth to get them to cooperate sometimes. Whatever. It's nice in Fort Lauderdale today. Take my word for it. How about in Port Aransas, our graveyard shot? What's going on with Google and Nest? Come on. My Outer Banks cam's working good, but not here. Baiting Hollow, offline. We probably have a bad link there. Got one up here along the lake at Fox Lake, and they're just not working today. Whatever. That's fine. Luckily, I don't have anything exciting to share with Fox Weather because if they tried to pull them up, they pull their hair out. There's nothing more upsetting to a producer, trust me, when you know you got something cool to show and then you try to show it and it doesn't work. And then I get emails and text. Your cameras aren't working. That's all right. They work pretty much when we need them to, just not when I need them to. What else? Let's go over to sharing the screen some more, and we will abandon this since it let me down. We already looked at all that. Um, I think that's about it. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Let's finish this up, the forecast for the next several days. So yeah, Wednesday, front slides through, more lake effect snow, and this is going to be a pretty cold air mass, but it is going to be pretty short-lived as well. And that slides through, and as the we get closer to Christmas, this is day 5, and we just go out to about a week or so. Now we're up to December 16th. Maybe some kind of a coastal storm out there, who knows? But no big intrusions of Arctic air for a while. And I know that we do this in hurricane season, and it's a big no-no where you show it like 16 days out. But I want to show you Christmas Eve because this is hilarious. Look at that. This is valid uh, Tuesday, Monday into Tuesday, so 23rd into the 24th. The only precipitation in the lower 48, you got the people that show the category 5 sitting off of Tampa 10 days from now, whatever. And I don't think I have ever done that, just to my credit. Not like that. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So this is kind of the opposite of that. I'm going to show you nothing 354 hours out, right? Talk about your clickbait. I should do that. Look at this. There's a bunch of nothing out there. Never happened before. A little bit of snow in Wyoming, a little bit of snow in Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, and that's it. Everybody else in the country that works in the any weather department of anywhere, take the day off. Oh, there's one little sprinkle near Tucson, and that's it. If this comes to pass, I mean, seriously, Fox Weather can just run my documentary all day and just make it a marathon. They did a really great documentary about 20 years of my work, and it aired recently again, I understand. But that's pretty remarkable, and that would really be nice if this came to fruition for people traveling in and around the Christmas period. It just goes blank, literally. Look at that. That is incredible. We'll see. We'll revisit this. You know how people say that when somebody will post a shot and there's a big hurricane sitting down here 9 days out or whatever, and people say, "Whoa, we'll revisit that in 9 days." We'll see. Same goes for this when there's nothing on the map. We'll see. All right, unshare the screen for a minute, jump back over to the YouTube chat and just see what's going on in y'all's world. Um, Yep, just kind of reading through. Hey, there's Jesse Bass. What's up, Jesse? Jesse, you got any drones? Any UAPs in your area? Hopefully not. If so, get some pictures for goodness sakes, man, that don't look like shaky whatever. They're all at night. That's the other thing about these UAPs. Why are they all at night? How come they don't come out during the day? What's up with that? That is bull hockey. Um, no drones. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Anyway, I'll have an afternoon update. It won't be nearly as animated and whatever as this, but again, I like this. I like this format because I can just kind of be me, and talk with you folks. And I think in January I am gonna like have a title and make it a thing. Coming up with some ideas, and then every week, and we'll probably do like a 45 minutes to an hour start off, there'll be different segments, kind of like a podcast, and slightly more organized than this, where I will have an opening segment, and then we'll talk about something in block 1, and then something in block 2, and then maybe block 3, as I talked about earlier, have some kind of a trivia. And at first, we'll just do general trivia where everybody can participate. And then we'll start building a following to this, where we hopefully have a few hundred people watching as we grow this idea. Then I will select somebody that I see from our regular viewers, the subscribers, some of our patrons, or whoever. We'll send them an email and say, "Hey, Bob or whatever." As I said earlier, just making the name up, right? Probably have a Bob watching. Would you like to be on our quiz show next Monday? Oh yeah, I'd love to do that, and then get him to join in on the Zoom, and I'll have 5 questions. and that might be hurricane track related. As an example, what was the first chase vehicle that I had from 1999 until I retired it in the year 2003 or whatever? And you would, oh, I know what, whatever. And then what replaced it? That might be question number two. Stuff like that. And then we could do some weather history and then general weather. I won't make it so difficult that, like, what is the thermodynamic of the theta E, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we could get a meteorology student on there and then just quiz them, see if they can do it. And we will have some shirts we can give away and other cool things, maybe a picture here and there. And I just think that makes it more engaging and get people talking about the weather. Because I'm a weather geek at heart, and hurricanes have literally allowed me to be on the map, quite literally. And now through our crowdfunding and my partnership with Fox Weather, we're able to cover any big ticket weather event anywhere around the lower 48, sometimes even globally, beyond our borders anyway. Bermuda comes to mind. I went to the Cayman Islands this past July, going back next week on a cruise with my wife, which is, mostly vacation, but I will have a lunch with Adam over there. He's been on the chat. So there'll be some business. Now, does that mean I can write that portion of the cruise off on a tax deduction? I'm guessing not. It's all right. Um, Although anybody from the IRS watching, let me know. Can I write that day off? Because I will have a business meeting with Adam McDoom and maybe some other folks in Bermuda weather or whatnot, government. Maybe it's legitimate. I don't know. I'm just joking. But yeah, this is fun. I like doing it. I hope you do too. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good rest of your Monday and a good week ahead. And remember, if you are traveling Wednesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, by air in the east of the Mississippi, this is your one shot. Today's the day. Whether it's United, Delta, Southwest, American, whatever, JetBlue. How many more do I got to name, right? Um, and really, if you're going international, that's very, very important because that's a big headache. So maybe this was a good wake-up call for you. I didn't realize that it was going to be, I've killed the microphone, so bad on Wednesday. Now you know. All right. All right, let me drop out on the video side. How do I do this? I keep my Zoom. You think I'd know it by now. There it is. There we go. And the audio will be next. Hey, look, I am Mark Sudduth. Thank you for watching this morning's discussion. I'll have a video discussion, the regular one later this afternoon. And we'll take a look at that La Nina stuff a little bit more. The 12Z runs of lower 48 weather stuff, and then I'll leave it with you. Nothing next week. You know what? I probably should come back on for a second with the video. I'm off next week. I'm very glad I remembered that. See, I do need like cards or something, like an outline. I will be traveling next week. The vacation's more for my wife than me because when I go to work, I enjoy it so much that it's not work because I love what I do. She is a nurse, and that's all I have to say, right? So no videos from me next week. I'm out. I'm done. So 2 weeks from today, I shall return. Who said that in a famous war setting? Leave your answer in the comments. All right. I shall return. I bet Adam McDoom knows who that was. Now I can sign off. Have a great rest of your Monday, a great rest of your week. I'll have the update later today, and then I'll see you again here on the morning discussion 2 weeks from today.